Hello and welcome back to The Critique. Today, we're looking at an educational article called Healthy Eating Habits Supporting Digestive, Cardiovascular, and Musculoskeletal Well-Being.
That's quite a mouthful.
It is, and the title kind of sets the stage for our whole discussion. The piece explores the science of aging and nutrition, but while the facts are all there, the delivery it struggles to connect.
I read through it, and I have to say, the author definitely knows their science. This isn't fluff. They're citing real physiological mechanisms.
Oh, absolutely. The foundation is solid. But that brings us to our first big issue, and it's a trap a lot of smart writers fall into. We're calling it elevating clinical authority into lived experience.
Okay.
The piece relies so heavily on clinical terms. It establishes authority for sure, but it also creates this huge emotional distance for the reader.
I see what you mean. I circled words like gastrointestinal motility, atherosclerosis, sarcopenia, but let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
This is a medical health article. Don't we want that precision? I mean, if the author just says weak muscles instead of sarcopenia, aren't they risking looking, uneducated or maybe even patronizing?
That's the fear, right? We use the big words to prove we did the homework. But the target audience here isn't medical students. It's probably older adults looking for real, practical lifestyle advice.
Okay.
And when you use that kind of sterile phrasing, the advice just feels
abstract.
It reads like a textbook. The reader might understand the definition of sarcopenia, but they don't feel the implication of it in their day-to-day life.
So the jargon itself becomes a barrier even when it's technically correct.
Exactly. If it feels like a diagnosis instead of a helping hand, people just tune out. They'll nod along, yes, sarcopenia, very bad, but they don't actually feel that urgency to change what they're having for lunch.
Right, I get that. So how do we fix it? We don't want to lose the authority, but we also don't want to sound like we're talking to a 5-year-old.
The suggestion is to bridge that gap. You can keep the technical term, but you have to immediately anchor it in a relatable real-world scenario.
Okay.
So let's take sarcopenia and muscle mass. The text defines it as a gradual loss of muscle mass affecting mobility.
Which is true.
It's true, but it's boring. It has no punch. Instead of just defining it, describe the functional result. Don't just talk about percentages. Talk about how hard it is to stand up from a low sofa without pushing off with your hands.
Oh, I see.
Or that specific struggle of trying to carry a heavy bag of groceries in from the car.
Yeah, that hits differently. Sarcopenia is a word on a page. Can't lift the groceries is a problem I have on a Tuesday afternoon.
Precisely. It takes the concept out of the clinic and puts it right into someone's living room.
That paints a much clearer picture. And I guess we do the same for the heart health section. It mentions improved arterial elasticity and reduced fatigue.
Right. I mean, what is long-term cardiovascular risk? It's this vague, scary cloud in the future.
It's not immediate.
But reduced fatigue is a now problem. So let's sharpen that, connect it to being able to play with your grandkids in the park and not get out of breath, or having the energy to actually enjoy your gardening hobby.
That completely reframes the motivation, doesn't it? It goes from eat this so you don't die to
eat this so you can actually live.
Yeah.
It's the same idea for digestion. The article says fiber enhances gastrointestinal motility. Now be honest, have you ever used the word motility in a normal conversation?
Only if I wanted everyone to leave.
Exactly. It's clinical. So instead of that, paint a picture. Describe that feeling of lightness and energy you get from a high-fiber diet versus the sluggish, heavy feeling of being constipated.
Make the reader actually feel the difference in their gut.
You got it. It humanizes the whole thing. It turns the body into something you experience, not just something you study.
But, speaking of how the body is viewed, this kind of bleeds into the way the whole article is structured, doesn't it?
It really does. And that brings us right to the second major point: structural integration versus anatomical isolation.
Okay.
The way it's written now, it feels like it's dissecting the reader. It breaks the body down into these completely separate systems.
I noticed that it's very segmented. Paragraph 2 is the gut. Paragraph 3 is muscles and bones. Paragraph 4 is the heart. It's orderly, like a checklist.
It is orderly, but that's the weakness. It treats our organs like they're in silos. This checklist approach totally misses the synergy of the human body.
Right.
It makes the reader think about their health in fragments. Like you have to eat one thing for your heart, a totally different thing for your bones, and a third thing for your gut.
And I could see how that would feel really overwhelming. You know, if I'm an older adult, I might think, wow, I need a PhD in nutrition just to make lunch because I have to check all these different boxes.
Yes, it makes healthy eating feel like this complicated chore. Did I get my bone nutrient, my heart nutrient? The suggestion here is to reframe the whole narrative, to highlight the compounding benefits of single choices.
Ooh, I like that. Efficiency.
Exactly. Show how one simple change can solve multiple problems across different systems, all at the same time.
So how would that look in practice?
Well, take inflammation. The text mentions it in the heart section when it talks about omega-3s, but it also talks about musculoskeletal health later. We should explicitly link those. Say it outright. The inflammation hurting your heart is the same mechanism that's making your joints ache.
So if you eat something that helps your heart, your knees might stop hurting too.
Exactly. Suddenly that dietary change feels like a 2-for-1 deal. Eat the salmon, help your heart and your knees.
That's a much more powerful sell.
We can do it with specific foods too. When it mentions leafy greens for fiber in the digestion part, immediately cross-reference that. Those same greens are packed with the calcium it brings up later for bone health.
Don't make them wait 3 paragraphs.
Tell them right there while they're thinking about salad.
That creates more of a superfood narrative, doesn't it?
That's a perfect way to put it. Let's go back to the salmon. Paragraph 4 says omega-3s for the heart. Paragraph 6 mentions cognitive clarity. We need to highlight that those omega-3s in salmon help your brain and your heart.
And your joints, from the inflammation point.
Yes, so salmon isn't just a heart food. It's a tool for total body maintenance. It makes the advice feel strategic, not burdensome.
I really like that. But there's another layer here. Even if they know what to buy, are we sure they can actually do it?
And that is the perfect segue to our third point, the curse of knowledge and implementation friction.
Interesting. What do you mean by friction?
The topic sentence here is that the article is great at identifying what to eat, but it totally underestimates the real-world barriers to how an older person implements these changes.
The text suggests things like fish at least twice per week and creating balanced meal plans. I mean, on the surface, that sounds like standard, solid advice.
It is standard, but here's the weakness. It assumes a level of energy and, frankly, physical ease that just might not be there for the target audience.
Right.
The article itself mentions things like reduced physical activity and fatigue, and yet it expects that same person to have the stamina to go shopping, stand and chop a bunch of vegetables, and cook fresh fish.
I see. If my back hurts or I'm just exhausted, chopping carrots for 20 minutes isn't just a chore, it's actually painful.
Exactly. That effort is a huge, invisible barrier that the text completely ignores. It says eat better, but it doesn't acknowledge that eating better can be hard work.
So, what do? We can't just tell them not to eat vegetables.
No, of course not. We just change how we tell them to do it. The suggestion is to acknowledge those friction points and offer low-barrier versions of the advice. Make it actionable for someone who is tired.
Okay, so a low-barrier version of the fish advice. What would that be?
Well, instead of just implying they need to go buy a fresh salmon fillet, you explicitly mention that canned salmon or mackerel is a fantastic, accessible alternative.
Canned fish? Some people might turn their nose up at that.
Maybe some foodies, but not nutritionists. And definitely not a senior who needs those omega-3s. It requires zero cooking, it's cheaper, and you can always have it in the pantry.
That's a great point.
If you tell an 80-year-old to cook fresh fish, they might just have toast because it's easier. If you tell them to open a can of salmon, they might actually get the nutrients they need.
It removes that barrier of, I just don't have the energy to cook tonight.
Precisely. Or look at hydration. The text just says, drink adequate water. Seems simple, right?
Drink when you're thirsty. Easy.
Except it's not. Many older adults have a reduced thirst mechanism. They literally do not feel thirsty until they're already getting dehydrated.
Wow, I didn't actually know that. So their body's signal is kind of broken.
Exactly. So telling them to rely on that signal doesn't work. The concrete suggestion here is to recommend specific habits, like keeping a full pitcher of water on the kitchen table at all times.
A visual cue. My goal is to finish this pitcher by dinner.
Yes, it turns an abstract goal, stay hydrated, into a concrete task. It acknowledges the physical reality of their body.
That's so much smarter. What about the reduced intake of sugar advice? That's hard for everyone, but maybe even more so for seniors, when food can be such a source of comfort.
It is, and just saying, stop eating sugar is depressing and ineffective. We have to offer specific, easy swaps. Acknowledge that food is joy. Suggest replacing a pastry with some sweet berries and yogurt, or using cinnamon to add flavor. Don't just take the comfort away, replace the habit.
That feels much more empathetic, like the writer is on their team, not just a drill sergeant giving out orders.
And that actually brings us to our final point. And this one, well, it's about the whole vibe of the piece. We need to discuss tonal consistency and the joking ending.
Oh, I have been waiting for this. I got to the end, and I honestly thought my browser had glitched and sent me to a different website.
You and me both. So the topic sentence is, the sudden shift from a serious, scientific tone to this whimsical humor and emojis in the conclusion totally undermines the authority built up in the rest of the text.
It was such a sharp turn. 1 minute we're reading about plaque formation, and the next is your bones will clap with a dancing man emoji.
And your joints right dance.
Right. Now, is there any world where that works? I mean, maybe the author just wanted to end on a light, happy note after all the scary medical talk.
I get the intention, I do, but it feels manic. The weakness is that you just spent, 90% of the article on very serious topics, fractures, heart attacks. This abrupt pivot at the end makes it feel like it belongs to a different piece of writing entirely.
It's jarring.
Then makes the reader question the seriousness of everything that came before. It's like a surgeon delivering a very serious diagnosis.
And then pulling a bouquet of flowers out of their sleeve?
Yes, it would make you doubt the diagnosis, wouldn't it?
It absolutely would.
So, the suggestion is to harmonize the voice. There are two paths. If the goal is a friendly, approachable newsletter, then that warmth needs to be woven through the entire piece. You'd soften the jargon from the very beginning.
And if the goal is to be a serious medical authority?
Then the ending needs to be empowering, but still dignified.
Okay, so practically, how could we rewrite this specific ending?
Let's take option A, keep the authority. Instead of your heart will cheer, you could write something like, your heart will remain a reliable engine for your daily life. It's positive, it's hopeful, but it respects the subject matter.
That sounds much better. But what if the writer just loves that stomach filing a complaint joke? What if that's their favorite line in the whole thing?
Then they have to go with option B, embrace the warmth. If they're married to that joke, fine, but they have to introduce that conversational voice way, way earlier.
Set it up.
Exactly. Back in the fiber section, describe the stomach as an engine that needs the right fuel to avoid stalling. Then the joke at the end feels like a clever callback, not a random surprise.
That makes sense. And the emojis.
If this is a medical pamphlet, get rid of them immediately. It just destroys all credibility in that context.
A hard stance on emojis.
Well, think about it. If you're reading about how to prevent a stroke, do you want a little winky face? But if this is a personal blog post, sure, keep them. But the intro has to match that casual energy. You can't start with a lecture and end with a cartoon.
It's about managing the reader's expectations.
Exactly. It breaks trust. The reader stops focusing on the science and starts wondering, is this person a doctor or a comedian?
Which circles all the way back to our first point about clinical authority. If you use big words like atherosclerosis, you're setting a very serious tone.
You are. And dropping way below that tone at the very end makes the big words feel performative, like the writer was just playing doctor. It all has to be cohesive.
This has been a really thorough look at the piece. We've covered everything from word choice to structure to the practical realities of the reader's life.
We have. And I want to be clear, the core information in this article is very good. The stats are solid, that 20–30% risk reduction is compelling stuff. The foundation is there.
Right. The author did the research. The science is sound.
Absolutely. The problem isn't the facts. It's the translation of those facts into a human life.
It's that classic curse of knowledge, isn't it?
The expert forgets what it's like not to know the jargon or not to have the energy to cook from scratch.
That's the biggest hurdle in all educational writing. We're basically asking the writer to step out of the library and into the kitchen of an 80-year-old.
That's a perfect summary. Visualize the end user. They're tired, their joints hurt, and they want simple, effective help.
They don't want a biology lesson, and they don't want a stand-up routine. They just want help.
And the help has to be actionable. I'm really stuck on that canned salmon point. It's such a tiny detail, but it's the difference between idealistic advice and realistic advice.
It's the difference between advice that gets ignored and advice that might actually change a life.
I also think that superfood narrative, the efficiency angle, is just crucial for getting people on board. If I think I have to eat 20 different things for 20 different problems, I'm just gonna give up.
Right. But if you tell me this one piece of salmon helps my heart, my brain, and my joints, I'm much more likely to open that can. It feels like a high-return investment.
And the tone just needs to be consistent. Warmth is good, but it has to feel genuine, not tacked on at the end like a gimmick.
Exactly. A consistent voice builds trust, and with health advice, trust is everything.
Okay, so a quick recap of the whole critique.
Let's do it. First, elevate clinical authority into lived experience. Don't just say sarcopenia. Describe what it feels like to struggle to get out of a chair.
Second, structural integration. Stop siloing the organs. Show how eating leafy greens helps your gut and your bones. Create that narrative of efficiency.
Third, address the implementation friction. Acknowledge the physical realities of aging. Offer low-barrier, easy options like canned fish and visual cues for hydration.
And finally, fix the tonal inconsistency. Either warm up the whole piece to match the fun ending, or make the ending more dignified to match the serious beginning.
Choose a lane and stay in it. Ice is important. It just needs to build that bridge between the textbook and the kitchen table.
I'd love to see the next version of this. One that feels like a conversation with a smart, caring friend.
Me too. And to the listener who submitted this, thank you. You've got the knowledge down. Now just focus on making that connection. We would love to see your next draft.
Absolutely. Send it back our way.
That's all for this critique. Keep writing, keep improving, and we will see you next time.